Viewers, it's a sad day. 5 good men that could have chosen to do anything with their lives chose instead to serve their country, and when that wasn't enough, chose to sacrifice their all for their Bharat Mata. These 5 sons of India were slain while trying to get the better of alleged Pakistan-sponsored terrorists in the Bazimal upper forests of the Rajouri district of South Kashmir. Viewers, there was a manhunt for terrorists on since October 19th. The army received intelligence inputs on November 19th. Operation was launched in this particular forest area. A cordon sanitaire was established to ensure the terrorists didn't escape. The terrorists were cornered in a gunfight on Wednesday. Terrorists were firing from a height behind boulders. Captain M.V. Pranjal was hit trying to save civilians in the area. After 36-hour gun battles, both terrorists were killed on Thursday. 5 army personnel, including 2 captains, have been killed in action. These 5 gallants, Captain M.V. Pranjal, Captain Shubham Gupta, Havaldar Abdul Majid, Lance Naik Sanjay Bhisht and paratrooper Sachin Law, have left behind 5 grieving, shattered families. At Captain Gupta's home in Agra, they say that nobody expected him to join the forces, but he responded to a higher calling. Captain Gupta's father, forcing back his tears, can only bring himself to say, and I quote him, "I am proud that I am known by my son's name," unquote. And that name is Captain Gupta. Never forget. Never forget, viewers. In Bengaluru, Captain Pranjal's father, M. Venkatesh, said that his son had secured a seat in the city's RV Engineering College, but opted to join the army instead. On December 9th, Captain Pranjal would have been promoted to the rank of Major for his distinguished service to the nation. The distraught M. Venkatesh says, quote, "We were waiting for his call, but now we are going to receive his dead body," unquote. Make no mistake, viewers, these officers and the 3 other soldiers were killed by bigotry, by the mujahideen of a twisted idea of Islamist supremacism that is intent on waging a declared Ghazwa-e-Hind. The attacks have taken a heavy toll. Viewers, the statistics, and it's unfortunate that all these brave sacrifices at the end of the day are reduced to statistics, are on your screens. Look at the numbers. These numbers have barely ever waned, and we've taken a period from after the abrogation of Article 370. Viewers, my words calling out Islamists will exercise a lot of people who will, with heartless whataboutery, shoot the messenger. They will attack me. Their favorite tool is to label truth speakers jingoists. They will say that these jingoists, like Rahul Shivshankar, are hell-bent upon stirring the communal pot. Moreover, to change the goalposts, they will say that the state is supposed to do a better job of anticipating terror attacks, that a professional force would have instituted better protocols to lower the toll on our forces. Viewers, while the latter questions are undoubtedly legitimate and need to be posed to the authorities, the government, the fact is that no army, even the most vigilant, can stop religious extremists intent on carrying out suicide missions. Last month, on October 7th, in Israel, this became amply clear. Then radicalized Islamists poured into Israel undetected across arguably the world's most militarized border. The truth is ugly when it is unvarnished. And the truth is that the Lashkar-e-Toiba and other terrorist groups sponsored by Pakistan are sworn to the establishment of a caliphate across Hindustan, viewers. The need of the hour today is to draw attention to the real problem in Kashmir. This is no political solution. The problem is that the only thing standing between India and its desire for establishing durable peace in the Union territory is the wall of Islamist supremacism. The wall can only be breached through a mix of united political and public activism. but weighed down by electoral expediency and a false sense of loyalty, this unified response has never come, viewers. Now just imagine, what if these parties and their supporters had poured out onto the streets of Srinagar or Delhi or Mumbai or Malappuram, holding up "Not in my name" placards? What if they had denounced? Viewers, anti-India, designated terror sponsor Pakistan by name. What if they had done this? It isn't as if they don't have the agency. They're the very same people who marched against alleged Israeli apartheid and bigotry for Palestinians. Those are the pictures in the middle of your screens, viewers. But viewers, our braves, their coffins are lying there unsung. Yes, Indians of a particular bent of mind, patriotic bent of mind, are saluting their sacrifice, but a whole lot of others have looked the other way. Where are the protesters? Where are the candlelight marches? And no one, viewers, can deny that their collective voice of protests, those in the middle of your screens, didn't succeed in having a sobering impact on Israel. Viewers, the protests for Palestine have been several. November 23 in Kerala, Congress has held a pro-Palestine rally in Kozhikode. November 16, CPIM holds a Palestine solidarity rally in Trivandrum. Where are there solidarity rallies for our braves in Kashmir or anti-Pakistan rallies? Why can't they come out onto the streets and call out Islamist jihad? October 29th, Kerala CM and CPIM leaders led anti-Israel protests in Delhi. Have they come to Delhi to lead a protest against Pakistan views? Or these Islamist hate mongers? October 27, ex-Hamas chief Mashal was addressing a Jamaat rally in Malappuram. Now, Jamaat is no insignificant political force. Have they held a rally to say the Lashkar-e-Toiba chief should be tried for war crimes? No, viewers, no. No, they haven't. There are several other examples. October 23, 200 students are detained for protests at Israeli embassy in Delhi. Why couldn't they go outside the Pakistan High Commission? October 21st, ex-Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mufti leads a pro-Palestine protest in Srinagar. Have you ever seen her lead a protest against Pakistan, viewers? And when someone asks her, she says, "What can I do? I'm under house arrest." Here, of course, viewers, the house arrest melts away. October 9th, AMU students protest against Israeli aggression in Aligarh. Have these students come out today and held a candlelight march and said, "We stand in solidarity with our 5 braves"? No, viewers, they haven't. All of this prompts us to ask some big questions. Protests for Palestine, but not against Islamists. Why?
Hello,
What's
Moto.
the hypocrisy all about? We are posing those questions tonight. That debate brought to you by Motorola. Let's open it up, viewers. Without ado, let's go straight across to our panel and let's ask some very basic questions and honest ones, viewers. I'm not going to, at any level, mask these questions. And I'm going to first begin with Mr. Nabi. Now, Mr. Nabi belongs to a very, very, very important political party led by some extremely influential people in Kashmir, a dynasty, viewers, the Abdullah dynasty. Now, Mr. Nabi Dar, I want to ask you, why haven't we seen anyone from your party or others that you are allied to in the so-called India Alliance take out a massive protest march with placards saying, "Down with Pakistan, down with Lashkar-e-Toiba, down with Ghazwa-e-Hind, down with Islamist jihad, not in my name"? Why, sir? Why haven't you done this? You've done it for the Palestinians.
So before Rahul, I answer your questions, I must say, uh, I'm actually baffled the way that you constructed this whole narrative
Naturally.
of targeting Islam and Muslims. I am shocked.
Shocked.
You are an Islamophobe and you should be tried.
There you go.
An FIR should be filed against you because you are whipping up communal passion. you know there were 5 army personnel were killed and one among them is a Muslim.
Yes.
So
I
how
know
can
that.
you say this? No, you
I
don't
took
know
his
this.
name.
You don't know
I
this
took his
because
name at
you
the
have
beginning of
built
my
a
show.
narrative of you are building a narrative of
Okay.
targeting Islam and Muslims,
Right.
which is reprehensible,
Right.
which is unacceptable and condemnable.
Okay.
This is a militant attack. This has been happening, and I'm surprised that you have no questions for this government. You are not asking for accountability from the government which is in place right now.
Right.
Excuse me. This is an attack. This is not a one-off attack. This has been happening over a period of time from 2022. Earlier, there were civilians were targeted in the same area. Then there was another militant attack in the same area. Now there is this attack has happened. Why aren't you asking questions? Why aren't you putting these questions to the people who matter, who have the power right now, who can stop it? What are they doing? Obviously, there are systemic failures and there is intelligence failure here. Why aren't you asking these questions? No, you just have one thing in your mind. You want to pit people against each other, Hindu, Muslim. That is what you do. You are just your whole narrative is built around this Hindu Muslim narrative, which is very unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Right.
As far as your question regarding our party goes, our party has condemned this attack in unequivocal terms, and today only our provincial president of Jammu, YNC, Mr. Ajaz Jan, participated in the Namaz Janaza of the fallen soldier in Punch. That is what we have been doing.
Okay.
I don't know where you get your information from, but it is absolutely a biased information.
Right.
And I'm sorry to say you are an Islamophobe.
Okay. Now, viewers, look at who this man is calling an Islamophobe and for what reason. Let's break it down. First of all, I named each one of our brave martyrs. I never hid those names from you. Those names are on your screens. One second, let me speak now. I never interrupted you. At least have that much courtesy. थोड़ी तो शर्म करिए सर. Okay.
शर्म आपको आनी चाहिए.
मैं तो I am
आप हमको मत
I am
बोलिए,
turning
आप
blue in the
शर्म
face.
करिए.
But anyhow, देखिए.
आप पूरी
थोड़ा तो आप
को
सुनिए तो.
किसी कम्युनल फ्रेंजी में डाल रहे हैं. ये क्वेश्चन कर नहीं रहे. आप बीजेपी हुकूमत को क्वेश्चन नहीं कर रहे हैं.
Okay, Imran Dar, can you allow me to speak, sir?
No, but why don't you question the government?
Can I be allowed to speak? Can I be allowed to speak?
Yeah, please. This is your show. Please go.
Okay. Yes, you asked me some questions. Let me answer them. एतमान से मैं आपको जवाब दूंगा. कोई problem नहीं. Viewers, my family has suffered. We lived in Srinagar. We were outed from that area, from that lovely, beautiful valley. I'm a Kashmiri Hindu. Half of me is a Kashmiri Hindu. And this man is telling me that I have no right to talk about what is happening in Kashmir. Half of me belongs from there, the other half comes from Karnataka. This man and his party has never given Kashmiri Hindus any justice, viewers. Not one day. Not one person. And he talks about bigotry? Okay. That's point one. Now let me finish. Let me finish. Okay, look, this gentleman is not going to let me speak, viewers. They only want to come here and make accusations because they have nothing to offer. Mark my words. So let me just put it down. Since very serious allegations are being made. I don't think he knows what it is to lose a home. I do. Right? So now, viewers, let me tell you something. Bigotry, Islamist bigotry kills more Muslims than people of any other faith. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop calling it out. Do you think the Lashkar-e-Toiba spares a thought for Shias? The Sipahi-e-Sabah, what do, viewers? They murder their own. Look at the Ahmadiyas. Now, am I not supposed to call that out? And are those people not Islamophobic? Who designate Ahmadiyas Kafirs? Ahmadiyya, the Muslim, and if I ask this gentleman, he won't accept it.
So what are we discussing, Rahul?
Now, let me get to the point.
The topic.
I also said, viewers, while I was reading this out, the truth is ugly when it is unvarnished. And the truth is that the Lashkar-e-Toiba and other terrorists sponsored by Pakistan are sworn to the establishment of a caliphate across Hindustan. I use these words. How am I an Islamophobic person if I'm calling out terrorism? Does terrorism represent Islam? No, viewers. If that is his case, then that is his problem. He is actually abusing his own faith and reducing it to a violent faith. I am not. अगर आपको इतनी तकलीफ होती है कि आप टेररिस्ट को टेररिस्ट नहीं बुला सकते तो मैं क्या कह सकता हूं? Let me also tell you, viewers, that I began by saying tonight that they will target me. They will call me all sorts of things. And I put it out there. I said, my words calling out Islamists will exercise a lot of people who will with heartless whataboutery shoot the messenger. And I said that messenger would be me. The favored tool is to label truth speakers jingoists hell-bent upon stirring the communal pot. Exactly what I had warned against has happened. The NC spokesperson has proven me absolutely right. I'm not going to waste more time, viewers. You know I speak the truth. I also began by saying, and I asked these questions, that a professional force would have instituted better protocols to lower the toll on our forces. They will say that the state is supposed to do a better job of anticipating terror attacks. And I said, the latter questions are undoubtedly legitimate. So Imran Dar has not heard what I said. I said, these are legitimate questions. And I will ask the BJP spokesperson, because I am not dishonest like him. I will not change the goalpost tonight, viewers, like him. These are the cowards who sit at home and allow Islamist terrorists to kill targeted attacks on Muslims who are serving India and Hindus who are trying to return to their homeland. These are the people. They should be tried. They funded, viewers, they funded various interlopers in the valley for very long. We know that because some of their colleagues today are rotting in jail where they deserve to be for years altogether. Today, viewers, we should be talking about 5 people and all of us should be saying, and let me bring in Tehseen Poonawalla here. Mr. Poonawalla, let me ask you. Yes, we will ask RP Singh, the BJP spokesperson here, some questions. We will ask these questions. Please, keep quiet. Please keep quiet. I'm not talking about you, sir. I'm not talking about your party. And I hope your party never comes back to power because it was a rotten institution. 1 second. Let me just bring in Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla. Mr. Poonawalla, just keep quiet. Mr. Poonawalla, I want to bring you into this. Is it Islamophobic to call out extremism, religious extremism of the kind that is peddled in the valley by Lashkar-e-Toiba, sponsored by Pakistan? First that question and we'll come to the other. I just want you to set the record straight here, Mr. Poonawalla. You're also from the minority community since I last checked. So you tell me, do you identify with the mission that the Lashkar-e-Toiba is on? And would you please tell Mr. Nabi Dar why he's wrong tonight?
Rahul, let me begin this program by bowing my head before the 5 martyrs on our screen today who've sacrificed their life to keep us safe, and a big thank you to Major General Bakshi ji and SP Bedi. It is people like these in service, police or army, that keep us safe, especially in areas like Jammu and Kashmir. So thank you, sirs, for your service. No, if you call out extremism, it's not Islamophobia or anything else. So that's the short answer to your question that you specifically asked.
Okay. Now let me bring in 2 other individuals. So let's set this up.
But can I make a point?
I will definitely come back to you, Tehseen. We have to make the larger point, and I'm going to bring in the ex-JNK DGP, Mr. SP Vaid, and General Bakshi, who served in the valley. And then we will also bring in the BJP spokesperson to ask him some questions. With Tehseen, I think you, since you have spoken like a true nationalist, like a patriot, are entitled to ask him tonight, and I will give you the freedom to do so. First, Mr. S.P. Wade, let me ask you, sir, it's a very sad day and we should salute the fallen. They have fallen they've given their all for our beautiful land in defense of our borders against these reprehensible people who rationalize their actions. I want to ask you, could more have been done to secure their lives? Has the state failed?
Rahul, first of all, my tribute to the fallen heroes of this country. But let me say at the outset, it pains to see losing such young officers, particularly those fighting these terrorists. And we saw this happening in Kukarnag, and we saw this happening a day before yesterday in Rajouri. I think the kind of enemy you are up against, these are the risks of our service, whether it is the Indian Army, J&K police, or a paramilitary. We have been, no one wants to die. Everyone does whatever best he or she is able to do to prevent his death. And I think there are certain things, if we discuss strategically, which could be, which I have my personal views about. Number one, has this ceasefire served any purpose? Is it beneficial to India? Is Pakistan stopped with its dubious games even after the ceasefire? After all, what's happening in Rajouri Punch in last one and a half year has been happening after these foreign terrorists have been pushed in this side of by the establishment of Pakistan. Number one. Number two, I think more involvement of local. This is my experience as a police officer. I would have done involving more youngsters of the local area as special police officers, train them, arm them. Their use could have actually prevented loss of so many precious lives. I think the local young boys are more, they know the terrain, they know the Pagdandis, they know the whole milieu around that area. I think that part should be considered by the senior leadership of the Indian Army and J&K police there.
This is a very important question, General Bakshi. You have often questioned the government for declaring this ceasefire along the LOC. Should it have been done? Has the time come to review it? Just a few days back, there was cross-border firing, as you know, from the Pakistani side, targeting some of our villages. And it led to the displacement of some villagers. Number one, time come to revoke this. And number two, have we messed up somewhere in responding in the way we do traditionally to terrorist provocations?
Rahul, first of all, I'd like to salute the 5 brave hearts. My heart goes out to their families because having lost a brother in action, I know what the families go through. I was General Officer commanding Romeo Force. I had served in Rajouri and Punch, and we had in 2005, 2004, 2005 broken the back of terrorism south of the Pir Panjals. One of my persistent problems was these dense forest patches, and some genius from the forest department had in these forest patches planted low-level thorny bushes, so our boys couldn't even crawl, right? the forests are so dense that every time we went in, there was loss of direction, there was loss of command and control, and we ended up with 4 to 5 casualties. I'm talking of 2004, 2005 and even earlier. At that stage, I had then decided, I had gone to the spot, I had personally seen where the encounters had taken place, and I had said these are absolutely devoid of any human habitation. Use heavy weapons, use machine guns and mortars, blast that bloody place before you enter. I'm very proud, Rahul, that the tradition of leading from the front continues, that our officers and our men will not flinch. But do they have to be forced to fight a reactive and defensive war in their own territory? I totally agree with the DGP. What is the purpose of this ceasefire? Apart to permit cricket matches? I mean, it is too much. There are families that are grieving, and we are more interested in cricket matches and Bonhumi. Do these lives not matter? I think it is time to do what we did. We started hitting across the line of control. We had done the surgical strike post Uri. We had done the air attacks on Balakot post Pulwama. Why is there a full stop? I mean, for the next 200 years, is that sufficient? You have to keep repeating this dose every few months, every few weeks at the way things are going. Why do we tie ourselves down, hand and foot? Why do we tie our boys down? Because, it doesn't matter to anybody. I'm sorry. How many of our top leaders have their sons in the armed forces? I'm sorry. These are very blunt, straightforward questions from a soldier who's
they need to be asked.
Terribly hurt that the whole of yesterday, I hardly saw any coverage of these boys. I mean, we have more time for cricket.
I can tell you, viewers, even today, there has been a complete blackout. People have given it a miss in the media. We must fault ourselves also, viewers. I have raised this story tonight because there are some questions that need to be asked. And now let me bring in the two political voices, because as you saw, viewers, the shoot and scoot National Conference leader came, shot a few darts at me and has now run away. Because he could not stomach the questions that were going to come his way, or my responses, or what Tehseen Poonawalla, at least on the face of it, very honestly said in a matter of chiding him. So, Tehseen Poonawalla, I want to ask you, the question still remains, why isn't there more collective anger directed against Pakistan and these Islamists? Some people are saying, and you've heard the Prime Minister, for example, and there are legitimate questions that we must ask R.P. Singh, that I think General Sahab and the DGP have raised. But I want to ask you this. The Prime Minister says that there seems to be some sort of an appeasement of hardline elements. I mean, we saw one of your Rahul Gandhi's, he's of course contests from Kerala. So a Congress, a party in the same state as the Congress in Kerala, the Jamaat Ulema Hind, their student body platformed the Hamas. I mean, if you're going to valorize terror, then this is what's going to happen.
Rahul, you're right on these questions, and I think a lot more should be done. I cannot run away from your questions. It's right. And it was stupid to have the Hamas leader there. Ridiculous. And sure, you are well within your right, Rahul, to question the Congress party or the opposition. And that's your right. I won't take away that right from you. But the day Rahul Gandhi is in Prime Minister, I was Prime Minister of this country, I promise you, Rahul, when I'm on your show, I will ask even tougher questions of him. Right now, the Prime Minister and Home Minister, unfortunately, have the spines of molten eclairs. And both of them are campaigning. Look, Rahul, opposition or people like me, we are often called Khan market gangs, liberal, whatever the terms and adjectives used for us. Perhaps we go to Jantar Mantar, we hold placards saying not in my name. Are we responsible for the country's security? I promise you, Rahul, today I am Home Minister of this country. What General Saab does, I will do 10 times harder. I will hit them where it hurts. Who hosted? I am not against the World Cup. I'm against bilateral series with Pakistan. Who was hosting dinners for Shahryar Khan, the Pakistan PCB chief? You had song and entertainment in that Gujarat stadium? See, it was a World Cup to be host. Why did you have to have that song and dance for them? You didn't have it for any other country. Today, where is the Honorable Home Minister? He's campaigning. Today, what is the Honorable Prime Minister speaking about? Sachin Pilot's father and the Gujjar vote? Is this what required? Even when Pulwama happened, the Honorable Prime Minister, forget the shooting, I don't even get into that politics, later on addressed a political rally in Uttarakhand via the radio, and he didn't condone our martyrs. I am saying people like me, you can definitely ask us questions. We are Khan Market Gang, liberals, whatever you call us.
RP Singh.
We are not running the country. Those two are running the country. Ask them, their son is hosting the PCB chief, hosting dances for them. Why are they in power?
Well, there is anger, RP Singh, there is anger. And it is now being expressed even by General and by SP Ved and others tonight. We've got this wrong. We're not responding hard enough.
Rahul,
We're giving Pakistan a very long rope. God knows for what. कौन सा medal मिल रहा है?
okay. Rahul, first my heartfelt condolences to the families of the 5 brave heart who gave their life for us. But the question is, when surgical strike happens, who raises the question, who says, oh, ये surgical strike है? When the air strike happens, he says, ये fixed match है, वहाँ एक कबूतर मरा है. It's not us, there's parties who raise questions. Even now, the gentleman on the debate who ran away from the debate said it's Islamophobic. I mean, I'm shocked. But they never uttered a word when leader of the opposition wrote an article favoring Palestine without a word uttered about Hamas. When you favor such articles, when you shower such articles for Palestine without a word from Hamas, it embundles the Pakistanis or the terrorists. Let's do it. And as the report says, the person who was one of the terrorists was ex-Pakistan soldiers. So, issue is, you hold rallies. You get Hamas leaders to come and address rallies. And there's a race going on. Shamelessly, there's a race going on. Who will hold a bigger rally, Congress or the left? In Kerala, then there are protest march in AMU, Jawaharlal University, all these places. But not a word for our braveheart who gave their life. Not a word against the terrorists. I was going through the social media handles of all leaders. And I'm saying that all this activity is gradually, I should not put this data, but gradually there's a control being done on this. I have data with me which categorically shows that the number of soldiers who died, the number of terrorists who have died is on decrease, the number of soldiers which are on decrease, but it's not for that reason. I'm still for that country or people who support Palestine should stand by the soldiers and say that yes, we stand by soldiers and we are for against Lashkar-e-Toba, or we are against all those who are, all these terrorists who are there. And let me quote a parallel example. There's a lot of Khalistani activity happening in Canada. For your information, there are youngsters in Canada who have started standing up against Khalistan. We have seen videos recently who have started showing the mirror and say nothing doing, move out of Gurdwaras. It's time that Indians who support or people who do it for their political objectives, for their vote bank politics, they should stand up for
let me bring
the soldiers and also for against terrorists. And also one more article from the lady who wrote for Palestine. And then tears should roll for the soldiers also, not only for Battle House terrorists.
Okay, so you're saying that appeasement is emboldening some of these individuals, and you look at statistically, though you don't want to sort of talk about it, you're saying that the number of casualties of armed forces has come down. Let me first bring in Mr. SP Ved once more on this. Tehseen Punara, just 1 second, please. I want a qualitative assessment because he's just served there. Now, sir, what the BJP spokesperson is saying is that there are not enough people who are standing up and saying, don't do this in our name. We don't want this. And if they were to do it, then these terrorists would know that there are no takers for this kind of nonsense, and perhaps they would stop. Do you believe this?
Rahul, I didn't get your question. Who are the people?
Do you think that enough people on the left, or those who today sort of speak up for Palestine, etc., if they were all to stand up, sort of left liberal, so-called left liberal establishment were to stand up and say that please stop this.
Rahul,
this is absolute, this is rationalizing terror, etc., in our name. Don't do it in our name. We don't care. Just leave it, stop it. If everyone in Kashmir were to say to the terrorists that you are not our children, leave, do you think it will shame them into stopping? That's the question.
Rahul, as far as I understand, I have interrogated so many terrorists, and most of them, as you were mentioning, they come here totally brainwashed to do jihad and do Ghazwa-e-Hind. They will not stop whatever you do. Even if you give Kashmir, they will not stop even then. One of the terrorists told me, Kashmir, I'm talking of about 20 years back, in 99, I was interrogating a terrorist. He said, Kashmir हमने ले लिया है, अब हमारी आंखें जो हैं center India पर हैं. So they are not going to leave even.
Okay, they won't leave. So RP Singh, a quick response. That's not the solution, he says.
Well, this is not. No. This is not a fight against one terror group. It's a fight against ideology. Vaid Sahib is rightly saying that. It's a fight against ideology which pushes youngsters and brainwashes youngsters into fight for something else. I mean, I don't want to say it because tomorrow mera sar tan se juda ki notice aa jayega. Although already I am on a notice of Sikh for Justice. So, but fact is, this is something else which is happening. It's not merely Ghazwa-e-Hind. It's much more than that. And it's not happening only because we are an Indian state. It's happening in Syria, it's happening in Afghanistan, it's happening in other Islamic states also, Iran, Iraq, everywhere. It's happening everywhere. So it's for something else. And then the fact is that this has to be fought together. And then people have to stand up against this, as I was saying. And then they have to clearly take their stand. And then say, yes, this can't be taken forward. I mean, people like Taseen has already taken a stand. More people like Taseen should take a stand. Say, yes, we are against any sort of terrorism or any sort of mindset which furthers this branch of Islam.
Quick, and I want to bring in General Bakshi right after that. Yes.
Just a very quick thing. RP Singh ji, may you always live a long and healthy life, and may there never be any Sar Tan Se Juda or Seek for Justice booty on you. But if Sar Tan Se Juda is a terror slogan, and Rahul, I've come on numerous shows with you and said it's a terror slogan, and most people believe it's a terror slogan, what stops this government from designating it as a terror slogan? If somebody raises it, put them in jail. Even in the Kerala case, the NI investigation is instituted. Pick that person up and throw him in jail under the NI. NI has a 90% conviction rate. The fact is, this government does not want to act with pussyfooting.
Okay.
That is the
General
problem.
Bakshi.
When they are the problem, I'll accept it. I'm not
There's
the
a problem here.
The government's the problem.
Can I,
One second. General Bakshi, yes.
When we ban PFI, then there are issues being raised on that also.
So you're saying damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, General Bakshi.
Rahul, I would like to warn, as an old hand of Rajouri, I'd like to warn that there is a concerted Pakistani ISI, their army attempt to revive terrorism south of the Pir Panjal, take advantage of the densely forested hilly terrain to revive terrorism which has taken a hard knock in the valley. This is the kind of push-pull amplifier that keeps going on. When we had sort of, wiped out terrorism south of the Pir Panjal 2004, 2005, when the fence was built, most of the people that we put pressure on tried to go to the valley. Now it is the reverse flow. They'll revive it here and push it back to the valley. You must watch out for this change in Pakistani strategy. We have to activate the border to see that terrorism is reduced, is put under pressure. The Pakistani posts that send in these terrorists, they are brought under fire.
So you're saying abandon the ceasefire.
A steep price.
Abandon the ceasefire. RP Singh,
Absolutely.
abandon the ceasefire. Why do we have a ceasefire?
The faster, the better.
SP Ved, do you think that's the answer? Abandon this ceasefire immediately, post haste. It can't go on.
Ceasefire is serving the interest of Pakistan.
There you go.
Because they need troops. They are being hit by Baloch and TTP, and they need to use these troops which are deployed here. So ceasefire actually serves the interest of Pakistan and not India, number one. Number two, what I completely agree with General Bakshi. There is a concerted effort from across to revive terrorism in Jammu region, particularly in Rajouri Poonch, and taking advantage of the terrain. And my last word for the leadership of army and the JNK police. Terrorists, I am seeing a pattern both in Anantnag and here in Rajouri Poonch. They are trying to draw the troops to the jungles, to the from the built-up area to the jungles. And jungle, they have
advantage of cover,
advantage position. So
well, viewers, this is it. Are they being lured into traps so that these terrorists can fight to their own strengths? Number one, therefore recalibration is required. Number two, why do we have a ceasefire? What's the purpose? If we don't have a ceasefire, Pakistan will be forced to move a large number of its troops from its western front to its eastern front. It will be stretched like an elastic band, and it can't afford it. Remember, it's a broke state. Viewers, we have to start thinking. And as I said in my last paragraph of my entreaty here, that this has to be a two-scale operation. And the operation is that, viewers, it's very important. This wall can only be breached through a mix of united political and public activism. So you have the political class, you have the public, and of course you have the state responding all in tandem. I'll take a short break. When we come up, viewers, a very peculiar situation. Okay, let's just stay with this. Let me go on to the